Welcome to Just Get Up with Isaac for daily motivation. I welcome you to episode 17, part 4 of How to Create Opportunities for Success. On today's episode, we're going to discuss three very powerful points, and those points are understanding the significance of experience and how it relates to you creating opportunities for success. Number two, understanding that you must learn how to govern or manage yourself in order to create opportunities for success. And number three, we're going to talk about a success formula that I created that is proven that will help you to create a preponderance of opportunities for success. So let's get right into this powerful information. I like to start off with this quote by a guy named Whitney Young, and it goes this way. It is better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Think about that. It is better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. You see, when you're going about creating these opportunities for success, there's a certain degree of readiness that you always want to have. You don't want to pass up on opportunities because you're not prepared. You don't want to tell people, well, let me get this together and let me get that together, or let's revisit this. You need to be able to cash in right then and there. And in order to do that, you must always be ready. And let me give you a personal example. For example, I write poetry and I do spoken word performances. So I practice on my poems sometimes, even if I don't have a performance or even if no one is interested in my poetry. So just in case when someone say, hey, let me hear something, I don't need to say, well, let me go practice or I got to read off a piece of paper. I'm already ready. I'm ready to do this thing. I'm ready to show you what I got and ready to shine. So for example, I was talking to a guy 2 days ago in the gym, and I had no clue that he used to be a rapper or that he still raps and that he's wrote songs for Juvenile and that he's performed with Juvenile and that he has some hits out there. I just knew it from the gym. So I was telling him about my book. And we ended up talking for like an hour and a half. I was telling him how I was inspired to write my book and these different things. So he ended up telling me that he writes poetry. He told me about all this stuff that I just mentioned earlier. So I said, well, look, I wrote this piece called Self-Belief. Let me let you hear it real quick. He said, go right ahead. So he heard it, he said, man, that could be a song. That was beautiful. So I know that he writes songs for people. So what I'm doing, I'm putting in his head, when you write songs, think of me. When someone needs a song, think of me. And he invited me to come do something in his studio, and it was good exposure for my book. The whole point is I capitalized on the opportunity. I was already preparing for stuff like that. I know that I'll meet people that's going to say, hey, give me a section of your book, or hey, let me hear some of that poetry. Right then and there, I'm ready. So when they see that, they're going to say, this guy is prepared and he's ready. Now, when he thinks of songs, he's going to think of me, and something good will come out of this. You see, that's what I mean by being prepared for your opportunities. You want to be able to say, oh, let me send you something. Right then and there, let's do it. Freestyle right now, let's go. And you can do that with everything in your life. So are you creating a certain degree of readiness for the things that you want? Again, you must know what you want. Are you anticipating meeting someone randomly? Or are you anticipating being in a situation where someone say, hey, what you got right now? You must do that. You must be able to show some tangible evidence of what you have, and that sets you apart. Are you doing this? Now you must understand this quote as well. A wise man left this with me a long time ago. He said, a theory is at the mercy of experience. That's powerful. You see, sometimes people have all these theories in their head, but it's at the mercy of experience. You see, I know how certain things are going to go. So that's why it's imperative for you to listen. You don't have to conjure things up. I'm giving you the blueprint for creating opportunities for success. I'm putting my stamp on this stuff. So follow that degree of readiness. Now, another thing is you want to analyze how you're managing yourself. You see, when people see you, do they see a certain degree of readiness? Do they see a high degree of character? Do they see a vortex of greatness? Or are you kind of like a tornado where you're just sucking things in around you, picking it up and elevating other people? See, that's how you need to be. Now, you need to prioritize things. See, if you can't manage the things that you currently have, how are you going to get more? This is a biblical, scientific, and philosophical principle. As it states in Luke, he that is faithful in least will be faithful in much, and he that is unfaithful in what is least will be unfaithful in much. So I want to remind you that the word for work comes from a Hebrew word that means is ergon rather. It comes from a Hebrew word, ergon, which means to become. You see, we were never meant to just work for other people. We were meant to have our own dominion. See, what are you supposed to become? And whatever you're currently doing as far as your work is a stepping stone to something big. But you can't create those opportunities if you're currently not maximizing the position that you do have. This is why people get promotions. They manage their current job assignment well. Then they show potential for other things, and they start asking. They start showing you that they want it. They're producing. See, you must manage what you currently have well, and you must produce. But produce from a prodigious standpoint where it forces you to get noticed. So make sure you stand out. This is how you create opportunities for success. Manage your current assignments well, go above and beyond, and do it consistently and keep producing because the results will speak for itself. So are you doing this? So what are your priorities? How are you managing your time on the weekends and when you get off? See, are you investing more time into fun? I'm not saying don't have fun, but you must understand to fulfill your goals and dreams, you must make sacrifices, the law of sacrifices. You must give things up until you get where you want to be. And you must be balanced in that as well. So you want to schedule time for fun, time for recreation. But when we look at how you're spending your time, for example, if you got 100 hours, are you using 70 hours for recreation, only 30 hours for your goals, or 90 hours for recreation and 10 hours for your goals, or possibly no hours for your goals? You want to spend more time working on your goals than put it into recreation. And understand this, once you get to a certain point, you're going to be able to implement more recreational time because you're going to have put so much time into what you want to become. Remember this, what is true about time, how you use your time dictates what you will become, in addition to how you think. Those principles are true. How you use your time and how you think will dictate what you become. Understand that. Now, I want to talk about some other great themes. And this is encompassed in a formula or a success formula I created called the success formula. That's what I call it, something I created. Now, you may have other names called the success formula, but this is my personal success formula. And before I mention it or state what it is, I want to say this. First-hand preparation stops all last-minute desperation. So you don't want to be that person that recognizes that they need gas in their car and they pass up a gas station. And as they're passing up the gas station, they say, you know what, I'm going to go to the one that's closest to my house. And then let's say they get stuck in traffic and maybe they are scared they're going to run out of gas now, or maybe they do run out of gas. Those feelings could have been avoided by following your first mind. So always follow your first mind. Don't delay things. Don't be a procrastinator. Capitalize on opportunities right then and there. See, your intuition is telling you I need to get that gas. Listen to your intuition. It's a higher mental faculty that we all have. Some call it a sixth sense. Follow it and train it. It won't steer you wrong. Now I want to talk about this success formula. And there are 4 steps to this success formula. Step 1 is inform. Step 2 is give. Step 3 is to act, and this could be indirectly or directly. And step 4 is to revisit. Now let me explain to you how this works and why this is very, very important, especially in sales. You must recognize that you're always selling yourself to your family, to your friends, to your spouse, to your job. You're always selling yourself. Everything is sales. And this is why people that are in sales make the most money. There's no cap space. For when you work for yourself or do something, there's no cap space. You can create those opportunities. See, most people don't do this because they're not fully understanding what this means. And remember, you can't apply what you don't understand. You can't understand what you don't know. You see, if people really understood their potential and their greatness and that they don't want to have a salary. They want their salary to be unlimited. Then more people would work for themselves if they knew how to do it. More people would create opportunities for success. So I'm talking to the ones that are really engaged. And if you don't know how to be engaged, I can teach you that. So the first step is to inform. Now, this goes back to building a rapport. Now, you must understand when to close a deal and when not to, based on your rapport with the person. So you want to inform them of what you're selling, and you don't want to make it seem like you're selling something. As an example, I walked up to a girl yesterday and told her about my book. Now I'm familiar with her. I said, "Hey, are you a reader?" She says, "Yes, I got a book coming out. Read the synopsis." I showed it to her. You always want to show them something right away. Get them to ideally hold it themselves. It keeps them engaged. So as they're reading, you say, feel free to pre-order or just wait till it comes out, your choice. Now, I knew she was going to be working out upstairs doing the exercise, so I waited. So her, "Hey, let me show you this exercise." So she said, "Go right ahead." So I'm giving something. Now I've given something. Now that allows me to ask for the book sale indirectly. I haven't asked for the book sale. I did that earlier by informing. So she's going to remember that he has a book coming out and he showed me some exercises. Now I was going to show her something regardless. The whole point is you must know when to ask directly and indirectly. Sometimes just by doing kind acts, you're asking for things indirectly. It could simply be just you want to thank you. Now, then you must revisit this situation. So when the book comes out, "Hey, how's the book coming along?" "Oh, I didn't order it yet." Now she remembers this and then say, "Hey, how are those exercises coming along?" "Oh, they're coming along well. Well, let me give you this nutrition tip." So again, informing, giving, asking, revisit. Follow those 4 steps and you will continue to create opportunities for success. Inform, give, ask indirectly or directly, and then revisit the situation and understand how to do this based on the rapport. You see, when you don't really know that person, you have to do it not right away. When you know them, you can do it right away. So understand when to jump in, when to jump out, and also understand opportunities based on the moment. There are opportunities where you have to kind of close the deal right away. For example, if you're going to see that person again, you don't have to close it right away. But if you may not see them again, you need to go and capitalize on that situation right then and there. So understand these success principles. And when you do these things, you will definitely create opportunities for success. It's been a pleasure. It's Isaac Miller, your motivational speaker, fitness trainer, spoken word artist, sales coach, and author, and I am inspiration. Come back next week for this final series of this episode, and there'll be episode 18, part 5 of how to create opportunities for success. Remember, subscribe to my YouTube channel and get my book and pre-order it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Just get up and manifest your inner genius. It will really help you to create these success principles and to be inspired properly, as it shows you how to unleash the inner genius that you most certainly have. Have a great one. Thank you.